This is part 2 of SOBA sentences. So to review what we talked about before, a SOBA sentence combines two sentences, and you start with a sentence. We're going to square that. And then you need a comma, and then you have a SOBA word, so, or, but, or, and. Then you have another sentence, and you end with a period. So we're going to talk about a few rules for SOBA sentences. And there are 3 rules that I want us to discuss. The first rule is when you're starting, I'd like you to only use one SOBA in a sentence. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is do not start a sentence with a SOBA. And rule number 3 is SOBAs combining 2 sentences need a comma. So one SOBA, do not start with a SOBA, and they need a comma. So one, start, and comma are your 3 words that you need to remember. Take a moment and pause the video and say that to yourself. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and apply these rules to a piece of student writing. So this is a rough draft of a student writing from last year. And here's the story. And we'll just use the first paragraph. One day, I asked my brother if he wanted to play basketball, and he said, "Sure, let's go." So I changed my clothes, and he was done changing me too. So my brother got ready to go play basketball. So I grabbed my basketball. I asked my aunt for permission, and she said, "Okay, but you be careful." So we have a start. What we're going to do is highlight every SOBA. So I'm looking for so, or, but, and. Easiest way to do this is to go backwards. I hear the word but, and, for aunt, my, asked I, basketball, my, grabbed I, so, basketball, go to, got, my, so, to me, changed, done, was, and, clothes, changed, my, so, she, and, basketball. Great. So rule 1, one SOBA in a sentence. So I'm going to start, here's a capital, and I'm going to go SOBA 1, SOBA 2. I need to make a period before that SOBA 2. Okay. One day I asked my brother if he wanted to play basketball, and he said, "Sure, let's go." Okay. SOBA 1. So I changed my clothes, and he was done changing me to, period. Okay, that's 1. We're going to be taking that out because of rule number 2. SOBA 1, okay, just one SOBA, one SOBA. I asked my aunt permission, and SOBA 1, she said okay, but you be careful. So no, and she said okay, period. And then we'll go here. So I did one SOBA in a sentence. Do not start a sentence with a SOBA. So I have a period, and I get rid of the SOBA. Have a period, get rid of the SOBA, period, get rid of the SOBA, period, get rid of the SOBA. Now I need to make capitals here. Okay, SOBAs combining 2 sentences need a comma. One day I asked my brother if he wanted to play basketball, comma, and he said, "Sure, let's go." I changed my clothes, comma, and he was done changing too. I think we want to get rid of me. My brother got ready to go play basketball. I grabbed my basketball. I asked my aunt permission, comma, and she said okay. You be careful. I think she said that, so I'm going to just add in here, she said you be careful. This is much better now that we have applied the SOBA rules to it. So go ahead and in your writing apply the 3 SOBA rules. One SOBA in a sentence. Do not start a sentence with a SOBA. And SOBAs combining 2 sentences need a comma. SOBAs part 2.